and got the pin. And then, as expected afterwards, the lights go out, and Mercedes Mone, the former Sasha Banks.
Mone. They were very clear to tell me to pronounce this correctly.
Oh,
Mone.
really? It's a requirement. We must pronounce it Mercedes Money.
Mone.
So I said Monet.
Yeah, not Monet. I thought Monet possibly as well, but it's Mone.
Monet.
Yes.
Okay.
She's wrestling in San
Are we going to
Jose.
get some paper or something with the proper pronunciation?
No. But I was told a bunch of stuff. So, and she's not. It was very clear on the show tonight. She's not in Los Angeles. She's not coming to AEW. I don't think she wants to make that commitment because if she goes to AEW, it's a long.
It's funny, Dave. It's funny. I have no inside information. Zero. No one has told me anything. Okay. Mm-hmm. When I was at the show tonight, they showed a big thing on the screen. They said, tonight, Britt Baker, sit-down interview. And about an hour and a half into the show, I was suddenly like, are we ever going to get this interview? And then I was alerted that they aired it, but they never showed the people in Seattle. We never saw the interview.
So they basically, well, it wasn't the Britt Baker interview. It was the Saraya interview. Where they did it. So Soraya's out there.
But there were two interviews, right? Because they advertised the Britt Baker interview.
Yeah, Britt
and I know they did because Britt said, I'm the boss. And winked.
And winked, yes.
Okay. Now, again, I have no inside information, okay? But when I heard all of this, and I could be like 1,000% wrong, what I thought was... Okay, so they announced Toni Storm, okay?
Yes.
So we know that Mercedes is not wrestling on the show, okay? But to me, it's like, well, why would you continue teasing this by having Britt Baker say, I'm the boss, and wink? Why would you do that?
Why would you publicize Disco Inferno?
Well, and the other question I have is, because
really
people have asked... Okay. Nobody has denied.
Oh, yeah, they have.
Well, I mean, I'm sure
Absolutely.
Mercedes has told people this.
Everyone, no, I mean, like...
You've heard denials from AEW?
I've heard denials from AEW people in the match.
Okay, well,
yeah,
maybe it's not her.
Oh no, because they knew that it was really screwed because that's why they had to announce somebody this week. Because they knew it was really screwed because everybody was thinking it was her, and it wasn't her. Now, I mean, yeah.
Well, if that's the case, I'm wondering why the line was in there about how I'm the boss. Because now what it has achieved is now people are still thinking she's going to be there because of that boss line.
Maybe she will. But
that's what I was going to get to. So what I thought was maybe she is going to debut next week. But she's not allowed to wrestle until after the Battle in the Valley, where, like, her first match is going to be for New Japan. Like, you wouldn't announce this match, and then, she's going to have her first match for AEW? If New Japan signed her, they're going to want her first match. Is it possible that she is coming in, but she is not wrestling next week, obviously?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, anything's possible. Anything's possible. I also know from WWE that they... basically, they are very strongly under the impression that she will not wrestle for AEW, that they don't think she wants to make that. They think that she's coming back at some point, and she'll get this out of her system. She'll do her New Japan matches, because she's only contracted for a couple matches, and then come back. But if if she's going to AEW, she's got to sign for 3 years, minimum, because why even bother if she's going to go right back? Why? For AEW, it would be really stupid to put her on TV if she's going to go back in 6 months. And I don't know that she wants to make that commitment that she can't go back, which, again, with New Japan for a short-term deal for just a couple of dates, yeah, she can go back at the end of that deal. But when it comes to an AEW deal for a couple of years, she can't go back for a couple of years. And I don't know. Again, that's the impression, but again, what will happen? I just know that everyone was pretty, over in Japan and everything. everybody was pretty much saying that this is just a New Japan deal and it's not an AEW deal. So,
Well, she debuted and she came out and she had a stare down with Kyrie. And then they had a brief kerfluffle and she went for a move and it got botched.
Yes.
And what happened was she was supposed to do lift up, kind of almost like a backslide, and then spin around and go for a DDT.
Right.
But when she spun her around, Kyrie went to her knees, so Mercedes could not get a hold of her head for the DDT. So instead, she just fell on her back, and nobody really knew what had happened. And then she got up and said she was the CEO of the New Japan Women's Division, which New Japan doesn't really have a women's division. I guess they sort of do. They have an IWGP.
Well, they have
women's title now.
They're going to have a women's division as far as on the American shows, yeah,
Sure.
and probably on Dominion. They'll probably have the championship. On the biggest shows, they're going to have Kyrie or Mercedes. Depending on how much of a commitment she makes, she will be champion if she makes a commitment to be champion. That's very much clear. If she does not make the commitment to be champion, she will not be champion. But they are going to have, the whole deal of this is that they believe that when they run shows in the United States, they need to have women's matches. And they really don't want, they didn't really want the idea of, originally it was obviously Mayu Iwatani was supposed to be champion, but that didn't work out. So Kyrie became champion. And they really didn't want Kyrie going around and wrestling indie wrestlers, and just having, indie level matches on a New Japan show. But they felt that that's where, again, where Mercedes comes in the sense that, she's really, really good. Mayu Iwatani was supposed to be champion, but that didn't work out. So Kyrie became champion. And they really didn't want Kyrie going around and wrestling indie wrestlers, and just having, indie level matches on a New Japan show. But they felt that that's where, again, where Mercedes comes in the sense that, she's really, really good. And it wouldn't be Kyrie and Mercedes feuding over this championship would not be considered indie level. It could be, as good as any women's wrestling in the world, which is what they want out of those matches. But the feeling is, that they feel that due to pressure, that they feel that even though, they basically feel that they have to have women's matches if they run in the United States because people expect it. So there is going to be a women's division for the United States. As far as Japan goes, there'll be some matches here and there.
And the Battle in the Valley San Jose is the championship match.
And they're probably going to sell out.
We had Hiroki